Thanks for joining us here in the studio of the AI for Good Global Summit 2024, where I'm delighted to join a woman who's pushing the boundaries in terms of inclusion in technology, Caitlin Kraft-Buchman. Caitlin, you are the CEO and founder of Women at the Table, Alliance for Inclusive Algorithms. And Caitlin, you describe your work as establishing new norms now. So tell us more.
Well, this is an amazing moment that we're in to co-create, to create a new world. But instead of blindly taking all the systems, all the structures, with all the bias that existed before, we know that nothing worked during COVID. We saw exactly how systems are cracked. Just to take a moment to breathe and think about what is the world that we want to live in and how can we make it together and then build it.
So what would you like the outcome of this year's summit to be?
I would like us to start thinking about this co-creation and to take a moment to course correct, to understand that there are actual very deep and profound inequities embedded in the foundation models, but the potential of the tech is limitless. And how do we make sure that what we're building really works for everybody?
So how do we go about it? How can we ensure responsible AI development and deployment that fosters innovation while mitigating potential risks, including in terms of excluding potential communities and people and women in particular?
Well, a human rights-based approach. I think it's really as simple as that. There's an entire body of international law that we've all agreed to that works very well. There are economic and social rights hand in hand with civil and political rights. And if we use those as a point of departure for what we want to build, to actually help people to be proactive about inequities, I think that we're on a good chemin.
And the time to act is now, isn't it? Since biases in AI systems can really exacerbate existing inequalities. So how can we ensure that AI tools designed for well-being are fair, inclusive, and most of all, accessible to all populations?
Again, I think that it's a little bit about the intention of the build. So if you have a diverse group around the co-creation table, and that would be not only sector experts, right? If you're making a medical application, you would need doctors, but also nurses and people who are intaking patients and also the patients themselves, as well as the hospital systems. We really believe very deeply in that communities that are affected should be part of the discussion, and because only they know exactly how they need to live, how they want to live, and that will build things that are much more robust, much more fit for purpose, and actually going to sort of bring us a lot farther faster.
And looking forward or looking ahead, how do you envision AI transforming our society? What are the potential benefits and considerations for the future?
I think it's a double-edged sword for me, actually, at this particular point. So there's access, but then in our work, which is sort of future-oriented, is access to what? So we want to plug people into a system. We think about it as sort of plugging into the electricity system, but really, how are they going to be guided the same way that the current systems guide people and still give them the sort of lack of or many opportunities that different communities have? So I think it's a question of, it's all very positive, but it needs to be intentionally built so that the entire world, the majority world, everybody, in addition to the very small subset of demographic of humanity that's made these data sets and made this technology, are involved in this. And I think that we're going to have much more creative, much more innovation, much more invention, because we're going to be harnessing the creativity that's been untapped, basically, up until now.
So you are a techno-enthusiast, but with caveats, guidelines, firewalls.
Yes, I am. I believe in its limitless potential, but only if we take this moment really right now and to say, what do we want to use it for, not just to adopt for the speed.
Caitlin Kraft-Buchman, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Caitlin Kraft-Buchman, CEO of Women at the Table, Alliance for Inclusive Algorithms. Thank you for watching.